Basically, you take this into a more of a trend rather than trying to compete on volumes. Finally, derivatives, BSE did not do derivatives for pretty long. 2001 derivatives were allowed in the market, and till 2011 BSE did not even participate. It had practically zero volume almost the entire duration. And so only from 2012 actually the derivatives started trading on BSE. There are several reasons of why derivatives have started trading on BSE. One is that brokers clearly have been, brokers, investors, traders, even investment bankers, they have been clearly looking for an alternative, a situation where they get better products, faster execution, better services and all, and at the cost which are affordable, because over a period the broking industry has actually become less profitable, while as the exchanges have been actually become more profitable, especially the derivatives exchanges. So that's where the brokers also have been searching for an answer, saying how do we make the business profitable again, and that would mean the cost to them has to come down, and BSE actually charges very low transaction charges. It's almost 0.5% of the competing exchanges, and that's where basically more than 400 brokers have started trading on BSE. But for us, we look at this in terms of a framework, saying how do we provide an end-to-end solution to the investment community, which is sort of fast, fair, transparent, efficient, service oriented, and comparable to the best in the world. And that's where slowly BSE is now changing its frameworks, changing its systems, processes. We have changed our network completely. All the switches and all the IDUs at broker end have all been changed over last 1 year. Similarly, we have started many new products. For example, offer for sale. Today itself we have completed 100 offer for sale, and we have more than 90% market share in offer for sale, which has been pretty much prevalent over last 1 year. Similarly, mutual funds distribution through exchanges is a new concept for which BSE again has got 70-80% market share. SME BSE has more than 90% market share. Today we got a 34th company listed, almost 12 more are in pipeline. Over next 1 month they will get listed. So eventually what happens is anything new which you do ends up getting you better results. In fact, in next 1 month or 1.5 months, BSE will also be starting currency derivatives and interest rate derivatives. So till now BSE did not have currency derivatives, and it's going to start very, very soon. The idea is that the member doesn't have to pay new money to become member of all these new segments that are coming up, and that's an advantage for every member who is now struggling with the funds in terms of the profitability and so on and so forth. So we think we are on right track. We are going to remain the lowest cost liquidity provider in India for next decade at least or more, and we are getting the best systems, processes from the world. So today we are bringing a Deutsche Börse trading system, which is currently it is under testing, and it's going to be launched again in next 1 month. It's around 150 microsecond response time, which is significantly faster than what we have seen till date in any exchange in the country. And internationally this is practically in top 2% of the exchanges, and that's where we see that how do we add value continuously, and that's where people are coming into BSE. See, it's basically about complying with various laws, So today many jurisdictions are requesting for information and registration of market infrastructure institutions from various other parts of the world. So if an investor sitting in Europe is investing into India, he would be more comfortable if we were registered with ESMA, and that is where basically some of the laws are becoming stringent, and it's imperative for us as market infrastructure institution to abide by the rules, regulations and framework of as many places as possible, and that's where we have basically applied for. We currently do not have any plan to go abroad and trade, because India, I mean, today with all 138 years of history of BSE, only 2% of Indians invest in Indian stock markets by way of equities, debentures, hybrids, derivatives, equity, debt, and so on and so forth, and mutual funds. We need to get the rest 98% into the Indian stock markets, right? So for us, the what I call our karma bhumi is here, and we would continue to work for betterment of India rather than trying to capture markets abroad. Yeah, BSE has basically a continual interaction framework with its members and also investors. BSE conducts more than 200 seminars with its brokers in a year, with the help of association like NME, BSE Broker Forum, and also if a group of brokers want to come, BSE also has a training institute, BSE Institute, and it is 30-year-old. Almost the entire market participant, I mean, however many market participants are there, most of them would have gone through BSE Institute over last 30 years somewhere or other. And now we are trying to expand that into virtual domain also. So we have several courses which are purely internet based. We have some courses which are internet come video conference based. We have now, the BSE Institute has ability to train people in 5 cities on real time basis. There are other video based frameworks which allow people to come through even internet on video, and so BSE Institute also is playing a huge role in training the members, their employees, even certifying them, and so on and so forth. In terms of investors, we conduct close to 2,000 plus investor awareness seminars across the country. I mean, if you say around 365 days, practically every day we are doing say 4 to 5 or 7, 8 such investor awareness seminars with our brokers, with various institutions, on our own, and so on and so forth. So ideally we would like to touch many more people, but we are able to directly touch only 200,000 people even with 2,000 seminars. And for that we use, for mass connect, we use television, print medium, and so on and so forth, where we basically try to connect to investors on issues of their interest. In fact, we have tied up with Doordarshan also now, and Doordarshan is trying to run a morning program on financial inclusion from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Every day, and also there will be a separate program on the weekends for financial inclusion. So we are trying to also take many other agencies. We have training program with SEBI, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Institute of Company Secretaries, Institute of Chartered Accountants, very many agencies we try to take along and work with. No, this, see, basically the way we look at it is, if India has to grow at the pace it is growing, and also at the aspiration which it has in terms of growth, we need to be basically training huge number of financial professionals to advise, interact, and work with the investing community. BSE has taken leadership in setting up a BFSI Sector Skill Council. Government of India has come out with a new framework of setting up sector skill councils, where each sector of the industry gets together and trains the people on the future requirement of the industry. So banking and financial services industry has got together, and BSE has taken leadership in that, where banking, insurance, microfinance, mutual funds, stock broking, all the various components of the financial services industry have gotten together, and they have set up a not-for-profit entity which is being also supported by the Government of India under the National Skill Development Council framework, and that entity is defining the different requirement of certifications in different areas, and those people then will also be training the trainers in all the education institutions, and then also certifications will happen on that, and that will be training close to 60 lakh people over next 10 years. So the plans are big, and a kind of a youthful growing country, a fast growing country like India requires to train its people, not only train once, but continually update their knowledge from time to time, and also allow them to move horizontally and vertically. So if you are today getting a certification for acting as a dealer, you should probably also aspire to become a fund manager, and so on and so forth. So there are many such certifications which are going to be made available, and today also there are several certifications available under the National Institute of Securities Market, and so on and so forth. But now there is a larger framework under the National Securities Development Council which is coming up, and all of them, when they combine with NISM and BFSI Sector Skill Council and others, that would be a much larger perspective. See, the way we look at it is that reach has been an issue in the Indian stock markets. Although we have existed for 138 years and we have helped create a wealth of $1 trillion, which is significantly larger than the entire banking system put together, we think there is a huge scope for bringing more Indians into the stock markets, and rightfully, because stock market investments are the only investments which give you returns which are superior over a very long period. And that's where basically one issue was of reach. We couldn't have reached with the floor based trading. So then when automation happened, we could reach out to many more cities. Today we are available in 1700 cities with more than 300,000 users using the BSE systems during trading day. It's a very, very large number if you look at it from a perspective of any system. But for a country of the size of India, this is very small. Today, if you look at the number of investors registered with us, they are around 2.5 crores. We need to go closer to 120 crores, right? And so for us, it's very important that we reach out to people, conduct financial literacy framework, financial education framework, and get people financially included. And investing in stock markets actually help the nation in creating jobs. Over next 20 years, India needs to create 30 crore new jobs. Every year we need to create 1.5 crore new jobs. And those jobs cannot come if you invest in gold, if you invest in silver, if you invest in real estate, and so on and so forth. Those jobs will come if you invest through stock markets or through banks or other ways in financial instruments, so that money goes to the companies to create the manufacturing facilities, services facilities, hotels, roads, ports, and so on and so forth. And for that reason alone, you get the returns which are superior, but you also help country create jobs, which is what is the need of the hour. And so we think the stock markets have a huge role to play going forward for the country, and as much as we can reach out is good. Earlier we couldn't have reached out, nor banks could reach out, because the costs were phenomenal of setting up physical infrastructure. Today, with the internet and mobile based activities, we are able to reach out to mofussil areas at very, very low cost. So today, whatever we are saying, whether we are saying or banks are saying or mutual funds are saying or insurance companies are saying, we are working together to reduce the cost for the masses to participate in the financial instruments, whichever they may be, whether it's fixed deposits or debentures or equity or insurance or mutual funds and so on and so forth, and get returns for the investors. And since we were not reaching out earlier to the masses, we were also keeping space open for unscrupulous people to come in, collect money and not return. So when we reach out, they will also get squeezed out, the unscrupulous people who used to run all these kind of Ponzi schemes, and more formal finance will end up ensuring that there is more comfort, more safety, more security, more transparency for the investor community at large. BSE basically has participated in making the RGSS popular by way of television advertising, by going out into making several thousand investor awareness seminars and so on and so forth. but more importantly, how do we create that financial inclusion framework? And that is basically has several parts. One is reaching out to people, providing lower cost framework, providing a fair, efficient, transparent, trustworthy markets, sending the information in right time to people, lowering the cost. And so we have basically tried to do many such things. If you tell me, have you done enough? I would say we have a long way to go. But if you say, have you moved a little from 94 when we were completely floor based? Today we have total automation, 700 places in the country we are available, and we want to be available in 17,000 places. So that's what our aspirations are. We are tying up with people who have large distribution in financial markets to reach out to the smaller towns, villages, and so on and so forth, not only for education but also for transaction processing. We are also using mobile technology, we are using internet to ensure that the facilities are available, knowledge is available, information is available, and then it is up to the individual to take a call whether they want to invest in the Indian securities markets. See, if you look at it from the perspective of job creation, because for me job creation is the only job India has for next 20 years. So India has to continue to worry in all its policies about job creation. And MSME, that is micro, small and medium sector put together, account for around 8.2 crore jobs. If each person who is employed takes care of a family of 3, 4, 5 people, you are saying MSME basically provides livelihood to almost 1/3 of India's population. That is the kind of importance it has. Of course, it also takes care of 45% of India's exports and so on and so forth. But effectively the job creation engine is SME. And earlier, over last 10-15 years, due to the previous issues with the small companies which came into the market, took the money and then vanished, because many of these companies have propensity to fail because they are very small. If some of them sort of go up fast, people are happy, but some of them go down, it used to create an issue. And so when 3 years back government came out with a new framework and SEBI came out with its own sort of SME platform, it was very clear that we will allow small companies to come in but take money from large investors, so that these investors are well educated, they are aware, they are able to study things, and then they invest knowingly that these companies are high risk companies. And of course there are additional checks and balances built in, so that there are market making frameworks and so on and so forth which have been given for providing liquidity. But overall a new framework has been created where small companies' need for raising funds from the market has been recognized legitimately, and to provide them funds, a new sort of class of investors is kind of being motivated or being encouraged to invest, is that a minimum lot size has been kept at 1 lakh rupees, so that the small investors don't come into the market. And because of this, now slowly the first company got listed in March of 2012. Over last 1.5 years we have got 30